All right, well, we just left for Georgia Traverse trip. I had tried to plan this out with a few guys, but it didn't work out, so this is going to be a solo trip. As per the usual on my longer trips, it is looking like we're going to get some rain. It's currently pouring out. Just left the house, been out for like 10 minutes on the road, and we're driving through a storm that's going to go all the way through Georgia, it looks like. So not a huge deal. Kind of always believe this is going to happen every time I go up there. Anytime I'm in the Smokies, it pours. So weather report for Chatsworth, Georgia, which is where the first camp spot is tonight. Looks like it's going to rain from like 2 o'clock until like middle of the night. So good thing I've got that awning. We'll see how it goes. Left the house, and within 2 minutes got a warning that my trip would be possibly longer than normal due to localized flooding. So I have a little saying for trips where if everything goes right and the weather's perfect, it's just a vacation. And if you get some nasty weather and you have a little bit of adversity, now it's adventure. So it looks like we may be in for an adventure. We'll see. Going to be up there for 3 or 4 days, depending on how long it takes, depending on how the road is. Very much looking forward to be out in the woods for a couple days. Well, that took long enough. Yeah, hitting the Georgia border took me like 4.5 hours, unfortunately. Sat in traffic for a good long while, just stopped dead. Little accident, but it was enough to just crush my forward progress. So instead of getting there at the camp at like 5 o'clock, 5:30, I'm now looking at like 7:30 at best. Unfortunately, because of that delay, it looks like I'm going to hit Atlanta at like 4:30-ish, which if you've ever tried to get to Atlanta during rush hour traffic, is suboptimal, especially on a Friday. So it might be more like 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock before I get to camp. So kind of a bummer there. Not a great way to start the trip, but it is what it is. Story of the whole day. Of course we're in more traffic. And GSP's behind me. They're gonna get me. Alright, well, it only took 11 hours. It was supposed to be 7. But I'm on dirt. Yes! Should be rolling up to camp here in 40 minutes. So I got 40 minutes of trail, and then I'll be at camp. I am just pumped to be off of Blacktop. And barring anything totally crazy, I shouldn't hit traffic out here. So very much looking forward to just settling into camp. Hopefully I can get there before it starts pouring. We've got a weather system moving in. It's gonna be here any minute. So we'll see if I can get to camp before that happens. Let's be hopeful. Said we were in the woods. We made it. Just kind of make it through to get to camp here before it gets too dark. It did take a long time to get up here. Happy I'm here. As soon as I hit dirt, get into the woods, just feel that weight lift off. Like, all right, now we're here. Now we're starting the traverse. Should be a good 3 or 4 days. We'll see. It's actually my first time like filming this. Instead of just like little GoPro videos, I'm actually trying to do a little bit of filming, see if I can get the drone up if the weather cooperates, which it does not. look like it's going to do, actually, watching the weather reports, but we'll see. Should be at camp here in about a half an hour and get some dinner going, which I'm very much looking forward to, because I've been eating trash food all day while driving, and we'll see what camp looks like. I'm supposed to be right on the lake, so very much looking forward to it. We'll see what's going on. Well, hopefully you'll be able to hear me over this rain on the awning. Classic example of why I have it. Every time I come up here in camp, I get rained on. So, the awning pays dividends because I can stay nice and dry. I'm well lit. Even better, I was able to find a bottle of Weller's locally. Pick that up. Nice way to start the evening off here now that I'm in camp. I've got some steak and some veggies and some rice already kind of like pre-prepped out. So all I did before coming up was prep some rice, prep some veggies, and then got some steak all cooked up. I'm sorry, not cooked up, just sliced up, like ready to cook. So all you gotta do is throw some butter in the pan. And get this going. Steak's already seasoned. Should be good to go. Side note, I just got these. Pretty neat. A company called Magware. I've been using like Sea to Summit like plasticware forever. But when you cook steak and you go to cut it, it doesn't work. So these are all titanium and they magnet together. So when you put them away, they just stick to each other. And then go in this little case. So, pretty rad. They weren't the cheapest things on the planet. I think they were like $30 for the set. But pretty cool nonetheless. Give them a shot this trip. I'll let you know how I feel about them. Alright, well, enjoying a nice dinner. Food came out great. Cooking on that Jetboil has completely changed how I eat at camp. I was a big like freeze-dried food guy. Now I pre-make my meals, get out here, and I just have to like cook my meat, cook my veggies, cook my rice, and I can eat like I'm at home. It's been a game changer. Food came out pretty darn good. I know it's orange. Sorry, I'm trying to keep the bugs away. Pretty buggy at camp. But my Taruka awning has the amber lights on, and I've got a bug candle going, my little fire pit going. Got this little Ignik. Wife got me for, I think, birthday or Christmas last year, 2 years ago. It has been awesome. On a night like this, like I can't make a fire. It's pouring out. But I put that little guy on, and that propane tank will last me, God, I don't know. I used it for a whole week last time, and I was only down to like, I had a third of the tank left, so I won't use it this trip. It's not super cold. It's more of just a keeping the dampness off me. Because we rolled in, it was super duper foggy. Pouring out. It's been raining all day up here. It's raining all week up here, and it's going to rain all weekend. Really hoping to fly the drone this weekend, but that's not looking super good. We'll see what the weather does. But for right now, I'm just going to enjoy dinner, and see you guys in the morning. Well, good morning. Today we're waking up at Lake Conasauga Campground in Chatsworth, Georgia. Pulled in last night, and then, like you saw in the pictures in the video, it was socked in last night. Lots of fog. Couldn't see anything. We were doing 5 miles an hour with a couple cars. Everyone just kind of creeping through, trying to get to camp. Everyone had to eventually turn their lights off because with any light on, you couldn't see the road at all. It was pretty bad. Kind of weather where if you're hiking, you just kind of sit down and like don't move. It was almost like that. But made it in, got set up, cooked dinner, had a really nice time last night. Wake up this morning, it's still raining out like off and on a little bit. It's clearing up, but you can see the lake. So I'll show you the view from the tent. Well, good morning. Interesting night last night getting in. Took forever to get here yesterday, but that was okay. Got in and it was completely socked in fog like we talked about. But now, it's nice out. Got some roads to hit today. We're already on the trail. This is actually part of the southern half of the the first loop on the west side. So we're gonna come down, finish the loop, join the trail, and then start kicking east up towards South Carolina and North Carolina today. I do have some friends that are coming in from the east side down, so we're hoping to kind of run into each other somewhere along the line, but we'll see when that happens. But been through this area quite a few times. Good, nice, light, like trail work. Should be fun. I did screw up a little bit, and I forgot to bring my chainsaw. I shouldn't say forget. I made the decision to not bring my saw. Just didn't want to have it in there bouncing around, and man, with the weather we've had up here the last week and a half, that may have been a mistake. So we'll see. I do have a small handsaw with me and a hatchet, but if it's any of these giant trees that fall down, like trying to use a hatchet to get to that's going to take me all day. I'd be better off just turning around and finding an alternate route. So we'll see if that pans out. Gonna go make breakfast and get on the road. I think this right here might be the spot to get next time. Might be the best spot in the entire place. Look at this. Little fire pit. A table. And that's your camp pad. All right, well, just left camp. Got all aired down. We are officially on the Traverse. Loving this Beat Sonics for the GX. I can now run Gaia on my dash instead of having to use my phone, which has been super cool. Very nice out. Weather's perfect. It's like 63 out. Still a little foggy in spots, but that's cool. Adds to the view. Just pumped to be back out here. We got a big day today. We have nowhere to be and no time limits for the next few days. So just kind of go along at a leisurely pace. And when I get tired, I'll pull over. When I get hungry, I'll pull over. And when I want to camp, which should be, I think maybe 6 or 7, since it gets dark right around 9. It's 10 o'clock right now. Got a late start today, which was kind of the idea. Had a long day yesterday. And yeah, we'll see how it goes. Just happy to be up here. This is one of my favorite areas of the country. So away we go. I'm just driving on the trail, happen to see this little cutout, little road that goes kind of off the main trail back here. And I did that because I really like marking camp spots I find on the trail. So when I come back next time, or I come back with friends, or if I have friends coming up, I've got a full map with pictures and descriptions, and they'll say like 1 truck, 2 truck, 3 truck, and then I have pictures of the camp spot. This one probably would have been pretty hard to find last night with how socked in it was, but yeah, what a cool little spot. The camp that I was looking at for the night on the northern side of the Cooper Creek Loop is taken. So I'm going to be pushing on, see what else I can find. Just driving through and happened to see a little inlet, looked like it'd be an awesome little camp spot. And yeah, check it out. What do you think? 1, 2, yeah, fire pit's already here. Kind of a sporty little entrance. I have to mark this one down. You do have to be careful out here sometimes, because in the springtime, unlike the fall, like late fall, early spring when it's really cold out, there's a lot of other folks out here, be it motorcycle groups, bikers, that kind of stuff. Like, they're everywhere. I believe this is one of my campgrounds. So we're gonna go check this out. I think, if I remember right, it is. Jack and I found this in the middle of the night. Got up here super late, hit some traffic, and caught this camp spot by accident. And it's phenomenal in the fall time. There's no foliage up here, so you can see forever. Really nice little spot. Still a nice spot right now, but missing the view. All right, finally back on some proper trail after a couple hours here. It's almost 3 o'clock. We came off trail, I think somewhere around like 12:30, and it's on hardball since then. I'm actually aired back up, probably need to air back down. There's no good way to get across Georgia all on dirt anymore. Just not gonna happen. So you gotta take some pavement to get through those sections, and thankfully we're through that. Just came through the Toccoa River area. A lot of tubing, that kind of stuff. Canoeing, if you want to rent canoes and tubes. Not really what I'm up here for. So we're gonna do some trails, try to get some more mileage done. I still have probably 4 hours, maybe 4.5 hours trail time left today before I'm calling it and finding camp. So hope to clear some mileage and just enjoy the views. Trail over here is definitely muddy. I like to say clayey. A little bit slow going, a little bit overgrown. They've been getting a ton of rain up here as of late, which is why. So you see it start like encroaching in onto the trail. But someone's been coming through and a good job of keeping the trail clean, because you can tell there were some big trees that came down, and someone's gone through with a chainsaw and cleared everything out. So for that, I'm very thankful. And the trail's going nice. Still got a couple hours to go for camp. See where it finds us. All right, we just came through Cooper's Creek Campground. One of my favorite spots out here to camp, actually. When I do the 500, that is always my kickoff spot. Great little campground, like right on the river. They have pit toilets, which is nice. I mean, nicer than just leaning against a tree. The river's super nice right there. You can go through and like wade through. I've seen people like diving in and swimming in it. I'm not crazy about that, but because the water's freezing. But yeah, nice little campground, especially in the winter time when I'm normally up here. Like, I get that thing to myself every single time. So, just pretty sweet. We're gonna keep pushing on. It's about 5 o'clock. I got 4 hours until it gets dark, and I'm just not a fan of camping that early. I don't have enough to do in camp to keep me busy for like 4.5 hours. Oh, low bridge. All right. No, someone is nice enough to cut it down, but every time someone cuts stuff down up here, they cut it down to like Jeep height. They're not cutting it down to GX with a rooftop and all kinds of crap mounted to it height, which is fair because I'm the only idiot up here that's like that. But I always end up like running the rack up on top of the tent right through all the brush. But so far this trip haven't had any issues, knock on wood. Turn this around. So nice easy trail for right now. We're doing the southern loop of Cooper's Creek. Just kind of runs along the creek bed. We're gonna start gaining some elevation here and go up and around. And then maybe at the end of this, there is a campground that I've had marked on previous trips that I have not stayed in, so I might stay there. We'll see what time it is when I get there. Still haven't gotten gas, which is a bit of a concern. We're not quite in panic mode yet. Got like 100 miles left, but it's definitely not great. I usually try not to get down below a half tank, and I don't have an issue. But they changed the route up a little bit on this. I guess there were some trail closures, and because of that, I haven't gone through town yet. So. Tonight turned into a good night. Had to get gas because we were nearing fumes. That was a half an hour detour off the trail. Went through Suchess, and the only place that I could find there is a motorcycle place, so I was out of gas. So I had to drive in another 10 or so minutes further past that. Found a little gas station, gassed up, and all right, time to go find somewhere to camp. And every single camp spot that I have saved was full. It's getting dark, obviously, so decided, all right, we'll find a campground again. Not what I'm trying to do this trip, but it seems to be how it's going. Just much busier here in the spring than it is in the winter when I'm used to camping. I never have problems finding spots when it's cold. I just kind of pull off the side of the road wherever I want. I'm good. It appears that the entire planet does that up here as soon as it gets a little bit warm. So, lessons learned. And then I'm having all kinds of problems getting service because we are in the middle of nowhere, which was kind of the point of the trip. So I went on recreation.gov and was able to find a spot at DeSoto Falls Campground, or recreation area. And it would let me get all the way to the part where I can pay for it, and then it wouldn't let me. So I had to do some like WhatsApp finagling, and the wife was able to get me my spot all signed in. Thank you. And so I'm headed there now. Should be about 7-8 minutes to get there. It is raining out a little bit. Not a big deal, but got to get set up. Got to make dinner. Hopefully it's not raining too hard when I get there. That way I can get all the bedding and stuff in the tent without it getting wet. But we'll find out when we get there. Just a quick update. Well, day 2's in the books. Not a lot of success finding camp for the night. Everywhere I looked for my dispersed camping that I already had like mapped out and planned was taken. It's all very busy. Not getting any signal up here, so that was making it fun trying to find stuff too. Wife ended up helping me out getting a spot. Pulled in. I can't get to the tent spot, which is kind of a womp womp, because that's where I need to be flat. Thankfully, I brought some parking blocks, so Got it up on blocks. I think it's level. It was pouring out when I got here, so that's as good as it's gonna get. Got everything in right before it started to actually pour. It was raining pretty good, but now it's pouring. I'm sure you can probably hear it on the mic. I'll say it again, I think the awning is one of the best investments you can make. If you're into overlanding, like this is the jam right here. Otherwise, I don't even know how I'd eat. I'd have a Jetboil like up inside of the tent, trying to make a like freeze-dried meal without like setting my tent on fire. With the awning, with the 270 out here, I literally can go from the back of the truck, get all my camp gear out of my fridge. I'm set up under the awning by the side of the truck. Got a nice working space. I did have to put guy lines down, which is super rare. I even put the little pole up, which you can see right there. Never had to put that up before, but it's raining, man. So better safe than sorry with the awning. I'd hate to lose it to a storm. That would suck. Making some chicken, making some rice. It's gonna be a good night. I'm gonna eat that, read a little bit. Pretty much exactly what I wanted to do. And then I'm gonna fall asleep to this again, which might be my favorite thing in the world. Just being up in the tent. The tent is super cozy. That CVT mount hood, and then I've got an Exped Duo mattress up there. Holy cow, what a difference that thing made. Memory foam with a inflatable base, like, can't beat it. Very, very happy with how the system's working. Everything's dialed in. Truck's working great. Sleep system's working great. Awning's working great. There's a few more things I'd like to add, as always. There's always more stuff, but for right now, I'm pretty content. Let's take a look at dinner. Got some chicken going on. Got some rice that's going to go in behind it. Got some Wellers in a cup. Yeah. Living the dream, I guess. All right, so quick cooking hack here for camp. Making eggs and bacon this morning. Rather than bring a dozen eggs, one of those giant plastic, like I want to keep my eggs together containers, I put 2 dozen into this blender bowl. Put them in there. Now I can shake them up, making bacon and eggs. Try that again. Bacon and eggs this morning. I'll just take this and pour it out. There we go. All right, step one to a good camp morning is getting up, getting breakfast, because it is pretty hard to wakey without your eggs and bacon. We have resolved that problem for now. Yum. Just in time. I am starving. back on the road this morning. Just left DeSoto campground, DeSoto Falls. Actually really nice. Was a bit of a pill to figure out where I was sleeping last night, but once I did and got settled in, got camp set up, it was nice. Had a river running right through the back of my campground, my spot. Woke up and the spots on either side of me were perfect. Drive right onto the tent pad, good to go. Mine, they had it blocked off with giant stones, so I couldn't do that. So I ended up having to level the truck out and kind of park up at like the entrance to the camp spot, so not a big deal. Got it done. It was pouring out anyway. It's not like I would have been able to enjoy the camp spot, but I marked it for next time, either spot 20 or spot 16 preferably. Your campground, like your tent pad, is almost on the river. So with that said, good night of camp. Awning came in pretty clutch again. We use it for the beach mostly, but anytime I'm up here in the Smokies, I get poured on. And without it, I don't really know how I'd be doing this trip. Honestly, it's been raining so hard, there would have been no good way. I would have had to either kind of like sit in the back on the goose gear panels and just maybe camp inside the truck. Because I would have gotten so wet getting up into the tent that I would have got the whole tent wet. So, very fortunate to have the awning. Thank you for Taruka for making it. Between the awning and the lighting that's already built into it, it's been great. CVT mount hood, working awesome. Been nice and dry up there. I run a Claymore fan inside, which I initially balked at the price on because they were like $70-$80 for like a little USB fan. They're awesome. I run one up there even though I don't need it for the temperature, just to keep some air moving around, and even with how humid it is, tent stay dry, sleeping bags are staying dry, I'm staying dry. So big shout out to those companies for making good products. Not sponsored by anybody, it's just what works for me, and pass it along. All right, we find ourselves at Helton Creek Falls. Gonna walk down. Very nice little waterfall. And we try to stop here every time I do the route, just because it's a nice little break. Quick little hike in. We passed by a couple of really nice ones yesterday, but they were packed. Like packed. Parking lot's completely full, people parking in the middle of the road. Wasn't interested in getting into all that. Was actually trying to make some mileage yesterday, so didn't stop. Then one of them is really cool. I believe it's the Toccoa Swinging Bridge, I believe is what it's called. I usually try to stop at that one because it's a big swinging bridge. It's actually pretty neat. Crosses the river. They do a great job keeping it up, but it is a half-mile walk in, and I just didn't feel like doing it with 1,000 people in the rain yesterday. So I will say they've done a nice job repairing this walkway in. This walkway in was a disaster last time I was here. I mean, it's a hike, so not like that's a downside, but I could see the accessibility being an issue for some folks. They did a real nice job putting some steps in, getting this cleaned out. So we'll walk up here, check the falls out, use this as like a 20-minute break, and then get back on the road. There's your walk down to the bottom of the falls. If you do come here, I will warn you, It's wood steps, but holy cow, are they slippery. So I probably try to stay in the dirt so you don't bust your butt. All right, here's our walk up to the actual main fall. It looks like they built a new deck up here, a little viewing area, which is nice. All right, well, that was Helton Creek Falls. Always a nice little stop on the way. So this is actually part of the traverse, so if you come down the route, you will come through here. Nice way to spend 20-30 minutes just kind of checking it out, relaxing. All right, welcome to Helen, Georgia. Interesting little town. Took a little detour to come through. If you've never been up through here, we are in the middle of the Georgia mountains. Appalachian Trail's not too far from here, middle of nowhere. And here's this little Germantown. Just Helen, Georgia, living its best life. All the buildings are like German themed, restaurants are German themed. Whole little Germantown. Very touristy. Not sure where people are coming from to come down here, but it's busy every time I come through. All right, just rolled out of Helen. Topped off the fuel tanks. Grabbed a couple energy drinks, which are necessary. And then came back through, and it looks like they're having a giant Euro show in Helen, which seems appropriate. Lots of really nice Volkswagens, Audis, Beamers. Just very unexpected. I've been seeing a lot of Euro stuff up on the parkway, like flying through. A lot of Porsches, that kind of stuff. And I kind of thought that just was the area. It was weird. I wasn't seeing a lot of import stuff like JDM. It was all Euro, but that explains it. But just left there. Back on the trail. This is actually a section I've never done before, because when I come through in the winter, it's closed. So I don't even know where it goes. But we'll find out here in a minute. Right now, it's just basically a dirt road, relatively well maintained. So just kind of cruising along. Oh, hello, FJ. And another FJ. Oop, that doesn't see me apparently. Little water crossing. How about that? Just happened to see this spot driving by. It looks like it's actually a, yeah, it's a like real designated spot. Little fire pit right on some sort of trailhead. Beautiful. Definitely gonna put this in the books. Had I known about this one yesterday, I probably would have just pushed on another half an hour and stayed up here. I am seeing a lot of these tread lightly signs, so looks like they're being proactive against people doing silly things up here. I'm trying to see what this trail's for. It's definitely not. They've started as a Jeep trail, but I can't imagine they're still running it as one because they got poles up now. Yeah, no vehicles. So this used to be probably a Jeep trail, and it got so torn up that they made it stop. Man, it looks fun though. Yeah, this is cool. Tray Mountain is not disappointing. It has been super rainy up in this area of Georgia, especially the last couple of weeks. And what a mess up here. Very, very muddy. Some rocky sections, some deeper water. What a mess. Love it. This is what I was hoping to find the entire trip. And found it. It must be raining somewhere higher up the mountain too, because there's like running water coming down the trail. So I haven't run into the hard rain yet. I'm not on the trail, but it's gotta be raining somewhere because it's like just river down the rain or down the trail here. But very glad I came up this way. I think you can probably hear on the mic how just soupy it is. It's like riding through a bowl of chili up here. What a mess. So much fun. All right, we'll see if we can get this to zoom in here. Probably not. We were at Tray Gap, which means we are where the Georgia Traverse meets the Appalachian Trail. At the little trailhead here, there is already a nice little fire pit. There's already a nice little camp spot. Big, wide open area. The trail runs that way. We just came from that way. And as you can see, Tray Mountain was gross. Was awesome, actually. Muddiest section for sure. Just as rocky as some of the sections up by Tennessee, because we're kind of up there. I think the truck has officially earned the new tag, if you haven't seen it. Dirty GX. Yep, it's dirty now. So we're gonna be heading off this way here in a second. I stopped just to mark the campground down. For some reason I didn't have this marked out yet. I will say it's super duper buggy up here. So that would be annoying. I'm sure as soon as we get a fire going, it wouldn't be too terribly bad, but it is very buggy. But great little section of trail. I'm gonna start heading down the mountain now. All right, just cruising down the road. And I happened to see this little turnout, so I stopped. Check it out. I haven't driven down yet, so we'll see how the drive in is, but look at this. This might be the coolest little camp area ever. Let's drive in and check it out. Man, this might be freaking perfect. Ooh, suspension's so... Oh, I guess we got some rubbing. Suspension's squeaky with all that mud in there. But yeah, check this out. This is rad. How have I never not seen this before? And how is it not marked on the damn map? Well, I know whose map it's going to be on. Man, I really wish it was later in the day. It's only 2 o'clock. Tons of tent camping, it looks like. Man, what a cool little area. I mean, it's got some use path in it, so people know about it, but for some reason it's sitting empty. This little section right here, especially, this was like a little rock boulder field when I came through the first time, and had my group second guessing our ability to get through it. Yeah, there they are. So all those rocks off to the side on the right hand side there, that's what this road was comprised of. Just a giant boulder field. Ended up being a lot of fun. We got all the trucks through. But we were all very, very new at this too, so we were sketched out a little bit. Ended up being a lot of fun. All right, well, we are hitting a section that the first time I came through was an absolute disaster. It was a ton of fun. A lot of switchbacks. It was all dug out, rutted out, muddy mess. I came back through a year and a half ago or so, and they had graded it and then put stone down and turned it into a road. So we'll see what it's like today. They definitely don't want people coming through here and going off track, which was definitely happening before, because you'd be riding through and you'd be able to see people taking little offshoots and creating little offshoots. Like this right here was a giant rutted, muddy disaster. So they are keeping up on it. Boo. It is a power line road, so it makes sense for the state. It's just less fun for me. But I haven't been up here in a while, so with the amount of rain we've had, let's see how it is. Little rocky section, should be fun. All right, here we are in the Chattahoochee National Forest Campground, the Tahula River. I have actually stayed here before. Kind of a funny story. It's funny now. Last time I was here was with a big group of guys. We got here, realized one of the gentlemen had dropped his wallet somewhere. So he's going to watch this and hopefully like this comment. We ended up, and it was pouring rain when we pulled in. We ended up hopping in 2 trucks and going back to retrieve it, and he knew right where he dropped it. He was certain. So we went back right where he thought it was, after a river crossing and a nice little stream crossing, and we were able to locate his wallet right where he thought it was, which was awesome. Pouring down rain, and we got there in record time. Came back to this campground, and they had a bunch of spots. And I had a nice time. Great little campground. And because I'm in a rooftop, it doesn't matter if it rains or not. I would be careful camping here if you're in a ground tent and it starts raining really, really hard, like a couple of my friends were. They ended up having to sleep inside of their vehicles because the camp paths flooded. But I'm all set up. It's only 5 o'clock. It is dark. It is about to absolutely storm on us down here. It's gonna get pretty nasty. This is the backyard of my camp spot. Like, how do you get upset about this? I'm trying to avoid campgrounds if possible, but honestly, like, if you have to stay in a campground, like, how do you get upset about this? This is the backdrop. Truck is right at the top. Not a bad spot. I'm gonna go make dinner before it pours out. And then we'll see what we are up to after that. I do have this right here. So I may be catching a bath later once it gets dark out. Let's see how cold this is. Yeah, okay. It's not terrible. I'm not much for cold water, but it's been a few days and it might be worth it just to get in there and rinse off real quick and dry. just to not be so gross. But let's get back up to camp, cook some food before it pours out, and if all I'm able to do tonight is sit down with my book, that's still a good night. So that's what we're up to. Well, pretty happy I got to camp early tonight. Storm system came through. It was beautiful when I pulled in here. Not so much now. As you can see, it is pouring out. I decided to just give it a minute rather than try to cook. Let this blow through. I'm going to give this another minute, get back out there. I meant to bring my waterproof pants. I did not. They're in my closet, doing me no good. So I'm going to throw my jacket on and get back out there. Thought I would just give everyone an update that it is, per the usual, pouring out. Alright, well I can't see it lasting much longer because it's sunny out again, but it's still raining. But I may have spoken it into existence when I said that, oh yeah, if it rains, be careful what spot you pick because the spot might flood. And as you can see, this spot has a river going through it. So all the water from up there on the road and the higher sites makes its way down through this camp. This is actually one of the ones my buddy was in when he was tent camping on the ground, and the spot flooded. They have since done a nice job of lifting it up, so the spot itself is nice and dry, but all that water flows right through here, right by the campfire, right out of this corner, and then you can see forms a little river that goes out to the actual river, which is now moving pretty good. It was nice and clear when we got here. Now it is all muddied up from all the runoff. Some kudos goes to my dad. Umbrella. I used to scoff at umbrellas, and he was like, that's cool. So did all my hiking buddies. Until it started pouring out one day and I whipped out an umbrella. And instead of having to have all like your raincoat on like I have now, like I've got a nice raincoat on, but then that's wet, your hat's wet, your backpack's wet, your feet are wet, shoes are wet. Instead, you just get under an umbrella and just walk around. And you don't have to worry about it. There we go. Just like my good umbrella, the good awning is going to keep me dry here too. So now that it's not absolutely pouring out, I'm going to go ahead and start cooking dinner. Happy I parked up when I did. Happy I found a spot when I did and got set up, because it was right after I got done setting up that this rolled in. So that could have been a real drag setting up in the rain again. Thankfully I didn't. And I'm not out in this. All right, so on tonight's menu, gonna have some kielbasa, rice and vegetables. Get that warmed up. Really loving this Jetboil stove. I talked about it quite a bit in the camp kitchen video I did, about what I thought, how it's been working for me. Man, I was usually just a like mountain house kind of guy at camp before getting this, and now not so much. Now I just eat like I would at home. I really like to get it done before it gets buggy out here. It's been raining pretty good for hour and a half. It's starting to slow down, sun's coming out, but for some reason it hasn't stopped raining, so chalk that up to the Smokies. Should call it the Rainies. It's always raining here. All right, well, dinner is just about ready. Looking pretty good, if you ask me. All it is some kielbasa. It's a Asian vegetable medley and some rice. That's it. Little soy sauce. And this fat kid is hungry. All right, well, dinner is ready. It's done. Let's see how we did. Yep, that's awesome. Wow, it's actually really good. Go me. That's great. The downside is I was very, very wrong when it came to what the weather was going to do. It cleared up. It got beautiful out. Let's check my Zoleo. Checking the weather and seeing what Zoleo had to say. There was a small chance of rain at 10 o'clock. It is 6:30. And there's a super good thunderstorm going on right back here. Seeing a little bit of lightning, just heard a lot of thunder. I have a feeling that I should be eating fast. If I don't, I'm going to get poured on while eating. So, camera's going off. I'm going to eat this and try to clean it up real quick before whatever that is gets here. Because if it starts pouring again, I'm just going to jump up in the tent, hang out up there, just kind of wait the storm out up there. The awning does a great job to a point. When it's absolutely monsooning and windy, there's nothing this awning's going to do. I have it all guy cabled down, so I'm not worried about the awning itself having any issues, but without walls, it just can't keep me dry. So, gonna have to talk to my buddies at Taruka and see if I can get some walls for this thing. We'll see. Not something I would use all the time, and they do take up a bit of room in the truck, but man, for this trip, just to throw up like two, just kind of like right here, even if I didn't wall off like all the back here, just right here, something where I can like put my table and chair and then not worry about all that wind bringing all the rain through, would have been pretty cool. Never really considered them before, never really needed them before, even in the rain, but it's been raining so hard this trip that, man, they would have made probably pretty big difference for me. And judging by the looks of the awning, they just Velcro on and then like stake to the ground. So it would take me the same amount of time to put the walls up as it does guy lines. I'm gonna have to talk to those guys, see what we can do. But for now, it's dinner time, and I'll let you know what happens here in a few minutes. Well, I did not get finished up with everything I needed to do before I got up in the tent and that storm got here. So, I was just finishing washing dishes and it started monsooning. No drizzle, no nothing, just one big wave. And it's slowed down a little bit now, it's just raining out, but it was raining like crazy there for a few minutes. So I jumped inside the truck. I have a movie playing, watching some Ghostbusters. I'm trying not to show it, that way YouTube doesn't kill me. And I'm going to do this until it stops pouring. And then I'm going to get up in the tent probably, because, man, it just, like wave after wave tonight. It's nice, and then it just absolutely pours. I was really hoping to get a fire going. I've got one of those little like propane fire pits. It's been working really good for me this whole trip. But if it's raining this bad, I don't even want to put that out. Just make a mess of it. So hopefully this blows through in the next few minutes, and if it does, then we're good. I bought 2 books. I'm going to sit up in my tent, hang out, relax. Either way, I'm good. Either way, I'm happy. The whole point of this trip was to get out, enjoy the woods a little bit, wheel the truck a little bit, see North Georgia, which I absolutely love out here, hang out by the river, eat good food, enjoy my time, and that I have done. So, even though it's pouring out again, and I'm currently stuck in the truck, I'm still happy. Still having a good trip. Still 100% worth it. maybe this next time we go up, I'm looking at possibly a trip to the Ozarks. It does take another half day to get there, but I've never been. So if you've been and you have some trail rides, it was like a backcountry discovery route, something cool like that you're aware of, that I should go check out, please let me know. I think that's going to be next for me. So for right now, I'm going to watch Ghostbusters, wait for this rain to pass, and see how it goes, see how the night goes. All right, well, it is Monday. We left on Friday, got up here Friday night, wheeled Saturday, Sunday. We're going to have about 25 more miles today up into South Carolina. Then we're done. I thought yesterday would go a lot faster than it did. Just stopped a lot more, took a better pace, and slowed down to enjoy it a little bit. So we'll finish up today, head home. It's probably going to be like an 11 or 12 hour trip from the end back to Florida. So I'm going to eat some breakfast real quick, have some coffee, and then hit the trail. But this is what I slept next to last night. Not too bad. All right, last day on the trail. Got about 25 miles to go. I'll be headed home. Probably gonna take a couple hours to hit that 25 miles. I'm about 9 o'clock, so it's gonna be a long day. Probably getting home 9, 10 o'clock tonight, but I'm gonna enjoy the last little bit of trail here we have. Just kind of skirts the river. See what kind of trails it has for the end here. I haven't been out this way in a little bit. And looking forward to getting home. Getting back in my bed, seeing the wife, playing with my dogs, all that kind of good stuff. But it's been a great trip. It was exactly what I needed. Alright, we're starting to get into some less traveled areas. I can see it's getting a little bit tighter. Just doesn't look like people do this part very often. Just because it's starting to get overgrown and branches are in the trail and all that fun stuff. Oh, look at that. Oh. That's what I like down here. Just kind of run into like these little stream crossings. I feel like I'm on Endor, riding through here, waiting for an Ewok to come flying out. This last little section of trail has been more fun than I remember. Some real steep inclines, some real steep declines, like all ruttered out. It's been fun. It's a nice way to end the trip. I kind of thought this last part would be like a breeze through, hit hardball and get home. And I think my average speed's like 2 miles an hour. So more fun is going to definitely extend my trip home longer than I had thought, but that's okay. I didn't come here to enjoy my drive home. Man, they definitely had some weather through here. Someone was very busy with a chainsaw not too long ago. A lot of cutting was done through here. We actually had a trip up through here that was very similar, running the Smoky Mountain 500. And we spent the better part of a day as the first people on trail cutting it out, which is why I usually recommend bringing a chainsaw with you. I didn't this trip. And not to jinx myself here with like 5 miles to go, but I have not needed it. Now that I've said that, you know how that goes. But yeah, we have definitely been the ones cutting people out before. But nothing yet today. Gonna enjoy this last little bit of trail. All right, well, this area definitely got a little washed out. See if we can crawl through here, because it is very, very washed out. Not a big deal. It's just going to take a little bit of time. I was cruising there for a second. It was just like normal dirt road. I was like, oh, cool. Make some of that time back. And no. No, I'm not. I was wrong. I think this is just this little section, though. Not a huge deal. Just going to take a little bit longer than I thought. There we go. It's kind of interesting. It was like just that little section got all messy like that. All right, well, that transition from dirt to hardball right there marks the end of the traverse. What a nice little trail. Good little trip. Truck performed flawlessly. Had a really good time. Gonna be back on pavement the rest of the time here, so it is time to air back up. Get heading home. Looks like it's like 7.5, 8 hours to get there. We'll see how fast we can do that. Like most of you, I'm sure I'm going to see if I can beat that, make better time than it says I can. But for now, it's time to grab my airlines, go air these tires up. This little guy has been a huge help. Again, this big guy's aired up and down all trip. Been great. Yes, back in Florida. If you made it this far in the video, thank you. Hope you liked it. I had a great trip. A lot of great scenery. Caught, oddly enough, some of my favorite weather is just that like dark, stormy, rainy The fog and the rain mixed in to make things pretty interesting there a couple times. And the rain definitely made the trail a lot more fun. So I had a good time. If it was hot and beautiful out, then I probably wouldn't have had as nice of a time as I did. So happy about the weather, happy about the trip. I am like 11 hours into my drive today. Did like 4 hours of trail, and then took hardball, and then just headed home. Just taking a while, but trip back has gone super smooth compared to the trip up, and yeah, had a good time.